experience, and we're gonna have another generation of leaders come along, and I hope that I can continue to contribute.
Phil Musser is a Republican strategist and former executive director of the Republican Governors Association, and he joins us there from Miami, where that meeting is going on. Hey there, Phil. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Nora. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. You know, John McCain says that he may not be ready to go again, but it sure does sound like Sarah Palin may be ready to go again in 2012. She told reporters today that it would be good for the ticket to have a woman on the ticket. It would be good for the party, and I would be happy to get to do whatever is asked of me to help progress this nation. What do the other Republican governors think about Sarah Palin's comments?
Well, first of all, what a class act John McCain is, in terms of both his concession and the approach he's taken in the post-mortem here. Look, I'm down in Florida here, Nora, as you know, with the Republican governors, and I'd say there are two things that are going on that are really important for viewers to know. One is there's a real dose of reality. I mean, we're not hiding about the fact that we got pretty well spanked last week, and we're spending a lot of time talking about why we did and what the implications for the future are. But there's also a sense of resolve that Republican governors are going to be where the future leadership for America comes in the context of 2010, and I'm sure probably in the broader context of 2012. So no question that, Sarah Palin blazed a great path, being the potential first woman to be vice president, but there are a lot of stars down here, and we just heard from a bunch of them here in the hotel just behind me.
How much talk is there, Phil, going on there about how to rebuild the party or come up with new ideas? Or is the discussion more about sticking to the core ideals? That a lot of people think that the conservative core principles of the Republican Party, that the Republicans have not governed by them over the last 8 years under George W. Bush with record deficit spending.
You're right, and I think, again, there's a dose of realism here by these governors. Tim Pawlenty gave a great speech at lunch today where he talked about, if we're going to be a majority party once again in this country, we have to be electing Republicans in the Northeast. We have to compete better in the Midwest. We need to be a broad-based coalition, and we need to learn the lessons from this defeat in the sense that, ideas in states really matter, and we don't have the bully pulpit of the presidency. We're going to probably be in an obstructionist mode in the Congress to the degree that we can stop or block, things that may not be consistent with Republican principles. And so I think there's a sense among governors that we really are going to be tasked to step up and lead. And so there's been a lot of talk about that. And really, Haley Barbour put it best in a meeting we were in this morning. He said, we don't have to have all the answers today. The election was a week ago, but what we do need to start doing is think about where we're looking for solutions in the future.
Governor Pawlenty was on here earlier, and he said the Republican Party needs more than a comb-over, which was pretty funny, as the wind is blowing out there in Miami. But I want to talk about what I think is a generational divide, perhaps, in the Republican Party. There's the traditionalists versus the reformers, and I think it's generational as well. And even McCain said there's a new generation of leaders coming forward. The fact that Barack Obama has 10 million email names is his list. The fact that he could use social networking sites like Facebook and MySpace to the degree that he did. How far behind is the Republican Party, and is it the grand old party?
Well, we need to become the grand new party. That's no question. Frank Luntz kicked off the presentation in here just about half an hour ago with a recitation of some of those same exact statistics. And the bottom line is, Nora, if we don't move the party forward with respect to investments in technology and embrace the fact that the Obama campaign put together an amazingly orchestrated, decentralized, technologically empowered operation on the ground, then we're fundamentally going to be facing serious consequences, because the truth is that our message didn't get through to the 18 to 29-year-old demographic, and that's why a lot of conservatives are looking towards the future in the context of the Republican National Committee chairmanship, and folks, frankly, something I'm involved with called rebuildtheparty.com, which is an effort to try and get the leadership of the party to really pay attention to making investments in this critical area so our message, which is a good message, can be heard.
All right, Phil Musser, former executive director of the Republican Governors Association, thanks so much for joining us. And coming up next on MSNBC, we're going to talk with another one of those governors attending today's meeting in Miami. South Carolina Governor Mark Sanford is going to join us. And so what perks are afforded to those who are set to occupy the Oval Office? In Barack Obama's case,